Dr. Seuss Video Classics.
Hunches in Bunches. By Dr. Seuss. Do you ever sit and fidget when you don't know what to do? Everybody gets the fidgets, even me and even you. And today was quite an awful day for me and my poor pup. My trouble was, I had a mind, but I couldn't make it up. It's awfully, awfully awful when you can't make up your mind. Do you want to kick a football? Or sit there on your behind? Do you want to go out skating, fly a kite, or climb a tree? Do you want to eat a pizza, take a bath, or watch TV? Oh, you get so many hunches that you don't know ever quite if the right hunch is a wrong hunch. Then the wrong hunch might be right. There I was inside the house, so fuddled up I could shout, when I got a hunch, a happy hunch, that I shouldn't be in, but out. But before I could follow that happy hunch, a voice snapped,
"Don't you dare!"
And a real tough hunch informed me,
"You're not going anywhere. There is homework to be done, bub. Sit your pants down on that chair."
And so I did. I sat me down. But as soon as I got set, a better hunch came, and he yanked off the homework hunch's hat. The better hunch said,
"We'll head downtown. We'll pick up your good friend James, and together we'll trot to some real cool spot, and we'll play a few video games."
So of course that's what I started to do. But a sour hunch came to spoil it.
"Your bicycle's rusting up.
He yapped.
Get yourself out back and oil it."
By now my mind was so mixed up, I really didn't know if I wanted to go to the barber shop or to Boise, Idaho. Then a very odd hunch upset me when he asked me loud and clear,
"Do you think it might be helpful if you went to the bathroom, dear?"
Before I could even answer him, a new voice interrupted.
"That mind of yours,"
I heard him say,
"is frightfully geflupted. Your mind is murky-mushy. Will you make it up, or won't you? If you won't, you are a won'ter. Do you understand, or don't you? If you don't, you are a don'ter. You're a canter if you can't. I would really like to help you, but you're hopeless, so I shan't."
Then a spookish hunch suggested I go 4 ways all at once. But I didn't fall for that one. I am not that dumb a dunce. I knew where I would end up if I tried a thing like that. Most likely on some dead-end road in West Jehossa Flat. I was much too smart for that 4-way hunch. But the next thing that I knew, I was following a nowhere hunch. A real dumb thing to do. Everybody sometimes does it. Even me. And even you. I followed him in circles till we wore the rug right through. And then I heard an up hunch laugh.
"You are a stupid schlep. The way to go is not around. The way to go is up."
That seemed to make a lot of sense. I even took my chair. I just knew I'd make my mind up if it had some high, fresh air. But the up hunch I had followed was a phony and a fake. Way up top, I met a down hunch, and he sighed,
For goodness sake, you should never trust an up hunch. You have made a big mistake.
Then things got really out of hand. Wild hunches in big bunches were scrapping all around me, throwing crunchy, hunchy punches. And some super hunch was yelling,
Make your mind up. Get it done. Only you can make your mind up. You're the one and only one.
one of me could never do it. And quite suddenly, I knew. To get a job like that done would take more of me, like 2. And maybe even more of me, like 3 of me, or 4 of me. It took an awful lot of me. It took a lot of yelling. It took a lot of shoving and hot bargaining and selling. We all talked the hunches over, up and down and through. We argued and we bargued. We decided what to do. And I finally followed a munch hunch, the best hunch of the bunch. I followed him into the kitchen and had 6 hot dogs for lunch.
Dr. Seuss's Sleep Book, narrated by Madeline Kahn.
The news just came in from the county of Keck that a very small bug by the name of Van Vleck is yawning so wide you can look down his neck. This may not seem very important, I know, but it is. So I'm bothering telling you so. A yawn is quite catching, you see, like a cough. It just takes one yawn to start other yawns off. Now the news has come in that some friends of Van Vleck's are yawning so wide you can look down their necks. At this moment, right now, under 7 more noses, great yawns are in blossom. They're blooming like roses. The yawn of that one little bug is still spreading. According to latest reports, it is heading across the wide fields, through the sleepy night air, across the whole country, toward every which where. And people are gradually starting to say, I feel rather drowsy. Oh, I've had quite a day. Creatures are starting to think about rest. 2 biffer-bound birds are now building their nest. They do it each night, and quite often I wonder how they do this big job without making a blunder. But that is their problem, not yours, and not mine. The point is they are going to bed, and that's fine. Sleep thoughts are spreading throughout the whole land. The time for night brushing of teeth is at hand. Up at Herkheimer Falls, where the great river rushes and crashes down crags in great gargling gushes, the Herkheimer sisters are using their brushes. Those falls are just grand for toothbrushing beneath, if you happen to be up that way with your teeth. The news just came in from the castle of Krupp that the lights are all out and the drawbridge is up. And the old drawbridge drawer just said with a yawn, Oh, my drawbridge is drawn, and it's going to stay drawn till the milkman delivers the milk about dawn. I'm going to bed now, so nobody better come round with a special delivery letter. The number of sleepers is steadily growing. Bed is where more and more people are going. In Culpeper Springs, in the Stiltwalkers' Hall, the Stiltwalker stilts are all stacked on the wall. The Stiltwalker walkers have called it a day. They're all tuckered out, and they're snoozing away. This is very big news. It's important to know, and that's why I'm bothering telling you so. Way out in the west, in the town of Merced, the Hinklehorn Honking Club just went to bed. Every horn has been quietly hung on a hook for the night in its own private Hinklehorn nook. All this long, happy day they've been honking about, and the Hinklehorn honkers have honked themselves out. But they'll wake up quite fresh in the morning, and then they'll start right in Hinklehorn honking again. Everywhere, creatures are falling asleep. The collapsible frink just collapsed in a heap. And by adding the frink to the others before, I am able to give you the Who's Asleep score. Right now, 40,404 creatures are happily, deeply in slumber. I think you'll agree that's a whopping fine number. Counting up sleepers? Just how do we do it? Really quite simple. There's nothing much to it. We find out how many. We learn the amount by an audio-teleo-tallyo count. On a mountain halfway between Reno and Rome, we have a machine in a plexiglass dome which listens and looks into everyone's home. And whenever it sees a new sleeper go flop, it jiggles and lets a new biggle ball drop. Our chap counts these balls as they plop in a cup. And that's how we know who is down and who's up. Do you talk in your sleep? It's a wonderful sport, and I have some news of this sport to report. The world champion sleep talkers, Joe and Mo Redzoff, have just gone to sleep, and they're talking their heads off. For 55 years now, each chattering brother has babbled and gabbled all night to the other. They've talked about laws, and they've talked about gauze, they've talked about paws, and they've talked about flaws. They've talked quite a lot about old Santa Claus. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you should take up this sport. It's just fine for the jaws. Do you walk in your sleep? I just had a report of some interesting news of this popular sport. Near Finnegan Fen, there's a sleepwalking group, which not only walks, but it walks a la hoop. Every night they go miles. Why they walk to such lengths, they have to keep eating to keep up their strength. So every so often, one puts down his hoop, stops hooping, and does some quick snooping for soup. That's why they're known as the Hoop Soup Snoop Group. Sleepwalking, too, are the curious crandalls who sleepwalk on hills with assorted-sized candles. The crandalls walk nightly in slumbering peace in spite of slight burns from the hot dripping grease. The crandalls wear candles because they walk far, and if they wake up, want to see where they are. Now the news has arrived from the Valley of Vale that a Chippendale mupp has just bitten his tail, which he does every night before shutting his eyes. Such nipping sounds silly, but really it's wise. He has no alarm clock, so this is the way he makes sure that he'll wake at the right time of day. His tail is so long, he won't feel any pain till the nip makes the trip and gets up to his brain. In exactly 8 hours, the Chippendale mupp will at last feel the bite and yell, "Ouch!" and wake up. A Mr. and Mrs. J. Carmichael Crocs have just gone to bed near the town of Fort Knox, and they, by the way, have the finest of clocks. I'm not at all sure that I quite understand just how the thing works with that one extra hand, but I do know this clock does one very slick trick. It doesn't tick-tock. How it goes is tock-tick. So, with ticks in its talker and tocks in its ticker, it saves lots of time. And the sleepers sleep quicker. What a fine night for sleeping. From all that I hear, it's the best night for sleeping in many a year. They're even asleep in the Zweiback Motel. And people don't usually sleep there too well. The beds are like rocks. And as everyone knows, the sheets are too short. They won't cover your toes. So, if people are actually sleeping in there, it's a great night for sleeping. It must be the air. It's a great night for snores. I just had a report of some boys who are tops in this musical sport. The snortiest snorers in all our fair land are Snorter McPhail and his Snore-a-Snort band. This band can snore Dixie, an old Swanee River so loud it would make 40 elephants shiver. The loudest of all of the boys is McPhail. He snores with his head in a 3-gallon pail. So they snore in a cave 20 miles out of town. If they snored closer in, they would snore the town down. Do you know who's asleep out in Funa Laguna? 2 very nice Funa Laguna baboona. We've added them into our Who's Asleep count, which has grown to a really amazing amount. Exactly 8,808 creatures are sleeping now. Isn't that great? A jed is in bed, and the bed of a jed is the softest of beds in the world, it is said. He makes it from pom-poms he grows on his head, and he's sleeping right now on the softest of fluff, completely exhausted from growing the stuff. The news has come in from the district of Doft that 2 oft are asleep, and they are sleeping aloft. And how are they able to sleep off the ground? I'll tell you. I weighed one last week, and I found that an oft is so light, he weighs -1 pound. A moose is asleep. He is dreaming of moose drinks. A goose is asleep. He is dreaming of goose drinks. That's well and good when a moose dreams of moose juice. And nothing goes wrong when a goose dreams of goose juice. But it isn't too good when a moose and a goose start dreaming they are drinking the other one's juice. Moose juice, not goose juice, is juice for a moose. And goose juice, not moose juice, is juice for a goose. So, when goose gets a mouthful of juices of mooses, and moose gets a mouthful of juices of gooses, they always fall out of their beds screaming screams. So, I'm warning you now, never drink in your dreams. Speaking of dreaming, I think you should note that the Bumble Tub Club is now dreaming afloat. Every night they go dreaming down Bumble Tub Creek, except for one night every 3rd or 4th week when they stop for repairs, 'cause their bumble tubs leak. But tonight they're afloat, full of dreams, full of bliss, and that's why I'm bothering telling you this. At the fork of a road in the Vale of Vavode, 5 foot-weary salesmen have laid down their load. All day they've raced round in the heat at top speeds, unsuccessfully trying to sell Zizzerzouf seeds, which nobody wants because nobody needs. Tomorrow will come. They'll go back to their chore. They'll start on the road, Zizzerzoofing once more. But tonight they've forgotten their feet are so sore. And that's what the wonderful nighttime is for. Everywhere, creatures have shut off their voices. They've all gone to bed in the beds of their choices. They're sleeping in bushes. They're sleeping in crannies, some on their stomachs and some on their fannies. They're peacefully sleeping in comfortable holes, some even on soft-tufted barbershop poles. The number of sleepers is now past the millions. The number of sleepers is now in the billions. They're sleeping on steps and on strings and on floors, in mailboxes, ships, and the keyholes of doors. Every worm on a fishhook is safe for the night. Every fish in the sea is too sleepy to bite. Every whale in the ocean has turned off his spout. Every light between here and Farfoodle is out. And now, adding things up, We are way beyond billions. Our Who's Asleep score is now up in the zillions. $99,9,000,000,002 creatures are sleeping. So, how about you? When you put out your light, then the number will be 99,000,000,009,000,003. Good night.
Look for all these delightful Dr. Seuss beginner book videos from Random House. First, it's The Cat in the Hat Comes Back.
Do you know where I found him? You know where he was? He was eating a cake in a tub. Yes, he was. The hot water was on and the cold water too. And I said to the cat, what a bad thing to do.
But I like to eat cake in a tub.
Left the cat.
You should try it sometime.
Left the cat as he sat.
The Cat in the Hat Comes Back. But that's not all. You'll meet lots more friends in There's a Wocket in My Pocket and Fox in Socks. Visit an out-of-the-ordinary world in One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish.
Say, look at his fingers. 1, 2, 3. How many fingers do I see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He has 11. 11? This is something new. I wish I had 11 too.
Funny things are everywhere in One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. And there are more surprises in Oh, the Thinks You Can Think and The Foot Book. Next, it's Dr. Seuss's ABC.
Big D, little d. What begins with D? David Donald Do. Dreamed a dozen donuts and a duck dog too.
There's lots of fun from A to Z in Dr. Seuss's ABC and I Can Read with My Eyes Shut and Mr. Brown Can Moo, Can You? Then it's time to rhyme with Hop on Pop.
Hop, hop.
We like to hop. We like to hop on top of Pop.
Stop. You must not hop on Pop.
There are giggles galore in Hop on Pop and more fun in store with Marvin K. Mooney, Will You Please Go Now? And Oh Say Can You Say? Sleepyheads everywhere will love I Am Not Going to Get Up Today.
You can shoot at me with peas and beans. You can bring in the United States Marines. You can put the whole thing on TV. But I won't get up today. Not me.
Get ready to enjoy I Am Not Going to Get Up Today. And 3 more Dr. Seuss favorites: The Shape of Me and Other Stuff, Great Day for Up, and In a People House. Dr. Seuss beginner book videos the whole family will love. Available only from Random House Home Video.